Attorneys for former death row inmate Clayton Lockett have received permission to conduct a second autopsy on Lockett's body. Lockett's execution was halted after it began last month because the drugs intended to kill him failed to work as intended. And while the autopsy is being conducted independently from the state of Oklahoma, many people have raised concerns about the independence of the investigation into what went wrong.
On April 30th, the day after death row inmate Clayton Lockett died, Governor Mary Fallin announced that her Secretary of Safety and Security, Michael C. Thompson, would lead an investigation into Lockett's death. Thompson was one of several witnesses, including 12 journalists, who were present when Lockett's execution began. A doctor declared Lockett unconscious 10 minutes after the first injection began. But 3 minutes later, witnesses heard Lockett mumble "something's wrong" in man as he was writhing on the gurney. After 3 more minutes, the blinds to the execution chamber were closed. Corrections Director Robert Patton then halted the execution. Lockett died later of a massive heart attack 43 minutes after the execution began.
By every account, it was a horrific, perhaps even torturous death.
University of Tulsa Law School Associate Dean Lynn Ensroth has written a law school textbook on the death penalty. She believes Governor Fallin's appointment of Thompson to head the investigation is not appropriate.
It's being done by someone who works for Governor Fallin. And that, I think, raises questions about the independence of it. I think I would feel more comfortable if it was truly an independent, outside investigation into what happened in the execution chamber.
Regarding Thompson, federal public defender Madeline Cohen says there are other possible conflicts.
He has close ties to the Department of Corrections, and very significantly, he himself was a witness to Mr. Lockett's execution, making him an important witness to the investigation itself. I'm also concerned that his general counsel, Steve Kreis, is a former employee of the Attorney General's office who, during that employment, was very involved in lethal injection matters.
Cohen represents Charles Warner, who was scheduled to be executed 2 hours after Lockett. Warner has since been granted a 6-month stay while the state investigates. The Department of Public Safety confirms that state troopers who are conducting the investigation will be interviewing Thompson as a witness. Cohen hopes an investigation separate from any state ties can take place.
Another mechanism would be a federal investigation under the auspices of the Department of Justice or another federal agency. And a third way that an independent investigation may be accomplished will be through litigation, perhaps litigation brought by Mr. Lockett's family, perhaps other litigation that will create an opportunity for discovery and for depositions that will allow us to try to get some answers about what went wrong.
Governor Fallin's Director of Communications, Alex Wentz, responded to Cohen's objections via a written statement. It says he, Commissioner Thompson, is more than capable of overseeing a thorough and unbiased review of Clayton Lockett's execution. While Commissioner Thompson did work at DOC from 1984 to 1990, we feel his time at the Department of Corrections lends expertise to his investigation without compromising his ability to fairly assess DOC protocol. A spokesman for Commissioner Thompson says during that time period, Thompson was employed as a prison guard, an entry-level job, and he had nothing to do with policy at the Department of Corrections.